What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Julia. I'm a certified personal trainer and I share all things health, fitness, and my lifestyle on here, on Instagram, and on TikTok, so make sure you're subscribed and follow along. Today we are doing a little Q&A. I actually posted a physique transformation timeline video on Instagram. I'll be sure to include it in this video. I went from this to this to this. Head to the caption for all the info, but long story short, in late August of 2022, I realized that I hated feeling so bulky, lethargic, and weighed down, so I changed everything and took myself through what I like to call my fat loss journey. From August of 2022 to December of 2023, I lost about 20 pounds of primarily body fat. We actually got married in December of 2023, and I've truly never felt more confident in my life. Since then, I've just been chilling around maintenance, training consistently, and fueling my body with foods that genuinely make me feel my best, which brings us to present day. But after posting it, I posted a little question box and you all sent in such amazing questions. So today we are going to run through them all. Also, yes, I am outside on my walk right now. I figured I may as well just get some multitasking done and get these questions answered while getting my walk in, because honestly, I am way better at staying on task and talking while moving. Maybe that's just me, but let's get into it. As you saw in the reel, we're basically talking about a 2-year span in my fitness journey from August of 2022 to present day, which it'll be August of 2024 by the time this video goes up. But a long story made very short, in August of 2022, I hated how I felt, completely changed everything in regards to my training and nutrition, took myself through a proper 12-week cut phase. It was incredibly successful. After the cut phase, I reverse dieted, brought my calories back up to maintenance, and actually passed maintenance because I had improved my metabolism so much through all of the training changes. I was able to eat more than ever without gaining weight. I chilled around maintenance for a long time, and then once we were 20 weeks out from our December 2023 wedding, I decided to do a little mini bulk. That was my 8-week build program to help grow, lift, shape my glutes. And then after my 8-week build program, I did my 12-week shred program to help lose that last bit of body fat, lean out, and just get shredded, for lack of better words. And I've been chilling at maintenance since. A lot of the questions are along these lines. So specifically, before making all these changes, I was working out crazy intense 6 days a week, lifting, doing tons of HIIT, long distance running, sprint intervals, Pilates. I was swimming a bunch, getting outside for my walk each day, just not giving my body the rest and recovery that it actually needed to make progress, and also not really training very purposefully. Now I lift 4 days a week. My workouts are so much chiller. I also walk, as you guys know. My lower body lifts take about 60 minutes. My upper body lifts take like 20-30 minutes max, and because of that, I pair them with 30 minutes of low intensity steady state cardio. And then in terms of my nutrition, I used to track macros, calories. I was aiming for a crazy high protein intake goal, and it basically led me to like force feeding myself past full to hit that goal. So once I changed everything, I stopped tracking macros or calories, lowered my protein intake goal, and basically just ate intuitively, and it made such a difference. Lots of questions like this, asking if I cut out specific foods, asking if I cut out alcohol, asking if I cut carbs, and no, I have no restrictions, no real rules. I don't cut out anything. In fact, I actually increased my carbohydrate intake a lot. I eat a very high carb diet, but no, I actually don't drink alcohol at all, never have. I simply just hate the way it tastes, and I'd much rather eat my calories and have something other than alcohol. It just tastes disgusting to me. Also got a lot of questions like this in regards to finding maintenance calories, deficit calories, how to go about reverse dieting, and I explain all of that in depth within the nutrition education section on my app. You can find all the same info within my nutrition guide on my website too, but I don't use a app or a calculation of any kind. I have my own method for finding maintenance, and I feel like it is so much more accurate because it takes into account the individual and their metabolism, their fitness level, and from my experience using it on myself and also with clients, it has just worked so much better and it has been so much more accurate. And then I also have my own recommendations for going about your deficit or your surplus, how to go about reverse dieting. It's all within the nutrition education section. All right, I feel like this is a hot topic. People either love HIIT or they hate it. I can't say for certain because I never had my cortisol levels tested then versus now, but I will say that I feel like $1,000,000 now versus then. Back when I was doing HIIT, my body definitely felt way worse, way more stressed out, way more inflamed. But at the time, I didn't really notice it because I didn't have anything to compare it to, because I had always been doing HIIT style training. But now, having not done HIIT for 2 years, I understand how not normal I felt back then and how amazing I feel now. So I am never going back. I feel way less inflamed, way less stressed. Like, I truly feel amazing. And also, strength training has the greatest adaptive effect on your body. It's going to give you the most bang for your buck. It teaches your body to hold on to the muscle mass because you're going to need it for future strength training sessions, and thus it can burn the body fat. So it also just makes me look way better. Also getting a ton of questions about what my quote-unquote too high protein intake goal was. So back before I changed everything, I was tracking macros, tracking calories, like I said, and I was aiming for 1.2 to 1.3 grams of protein per pound of my goal body mass. So whatever my goal weight was at the time, I took that number, multiplied it by 1.2 to 1.3, and that was how many grams of protein I would aim to eat every single day. It was incredibly hard. I did it, but I felt terrible. So once I decided to change everything, I lowered my protein intake goal to 0.8 to 1 gram of protein per pound of my goal body mass. And yes, I did track for like the first week or two of my initial cut phase to get a good feel for what my deficit calories felt like and to see if that lower protein intake range worked for me. And I felt better almost immediately. Love this question because I get to nerd out a little bit. Basically, programming out workouts is a science if you want to do it most effectively and efficiently. There are different training phases and training styles, and your goal kind of determines what training phase and training style is most optimal for you to achieve that goal. Basically determines the sets, the reps, the rest periods, how much weight you're lifting, etc. So prior to making all these changes, I was lifting with a very max strength style of training. I was lifting super heavy weight, but pretty low volume. So lower reps, lower sets. I'm talking like sets of 2 to 4 reps max. Now I lift with more of a strength endurance, strength hypertrophy style of training, much higher volume. And because it's higher volume, meaning higher reps and sets, I lift lighter weight, but I'm doing way more. So now I do sets of 10 to 12 reps. So obviously I'm not going to be lifting the same weight I lift for 2 to 4 reps for 10 to 12 reps. Also, it's worth mentioning that despite these changes in my training style, the weight I'm lifting, the volume I'm lifting, I haven't lost any strength. So my whole goal when making all these changes 2 years ago was to hold on to as much muscle mass as possible while primarily losing body fat. And I'm happy to say that that is literally exactly what I did. I tested my 1 rep maxes before making these changes, and I've tested them more recently. And in every single exercise that I tested, I either got the exact same amount of reps, amount of weight, or better. So there's not a single exercise that I got worse at, which I think is a huge accomplishment. But yeah, just wanted to let you guys know, no strength has been lost, only gained. All right, lots of questions about my meal plans and if I can share them with you guys. Sorry to say, I do not have any meal plans. I don't follow a meal plan of any kind, nor have I ever. Dare I say, nor will I ever. I eat completely intuitively. I keep it simple. I eat the foods that make me feel my best, and I don't eat the foods that don't make me feel good. I also eat exactly the same, whether I'm cutting, bulking, maintaining. If I'm cutting or bulking, I just slightly tweak the portion sizes, maybe add a snack, maybe take a snack away. I think it's stupid to completely reinvent the wheel depending on your phase of training. Like, I'd rather make tweaks to my training than completely change the way I'm eating, especially if I enjoy the way I'm eating. So I basically eat the exact same things year round. I have my staple meals, my staple snacks, my staple breakfasts. We go out to eat a ton. No rules, no restrictions. I literally eat whatever. Going right off of that last question, as I said, there are no rules, no restrictions to my diet. I eat a very balanced diet. I'd say I have a good 80-20 split where 80% of the foods I eat are whole natural foods and ingredients. The other 20%, not so whole natural foods and ingredients. While yes, I love cooking healthy meals and fueling my body with nutritious foods, I don't deprive myself of what I guess some would call cheat meals. I have dessert every single night of my life. I even had dessert every single night while doing my 12-week shred program leading up to our wedding. If you know, you know. I had an ice cream cookie sandwich every single night without fail. Sometimes two, because once again, I don't deprive myself of my favorite foods. If I'm hungry, I eat. If I want an ice cream cookie sandwich, I have it. If I want to order pizza for dinner, we order pizza for dinner. Like, nothing is a cheat meal to me. I just eat a balanced diet, eat what I want, when I want, fuel my body in a way that makes me feel my best. So I guess this is that video. I've kind of touched on all the little changes I've made, but the one thing I haven't mentioned is that in order to lose weight, you have to be in a calorie deficit. There is no other way around it. Being in a calorie deficit means that you are burning or expending more calories on a daily basis than you are consuming or eating. So you need to either decrease your calorie consumption or increase your calorie expenditure, or do a little combination of both. And obviously, because I lost weight, I had to have been in a calorie deficit, but honestly, it wasn't really my main focus. It was kind of just a byproduct of all of the other training and nutrition changes I made. It kind of just happened. Because of my training changes, I gained and held on to muscle while burning body fat, speeding up my metabolism. And with my nutrition changes of lowering my protein intake goal and increasing my carbs, it thus lowered my overall caloric intake. Yes, if you have been following me for a very long time, then you know that I have always gotten outside for my walk every single day. I started posting my Get Outside Today people stories back in 2020 when we moved to Pittsburgh. But before then, I was walking miles and miles around campus. I was in college at the time, and I made a goal my freshman year to never pay for parking during my 4 years in college, which led to me walking everywhere. I successfully achieved that goal, never paid for parking, but I logged a lot of miles on my legs, and I think that's where my love for walking began. So my daily 3 has always been a part of my lifestyle, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. Also, it's worth mentioning that I sit all day for work, so I really don't walk or get as much movement in as you all think, because I'm glued to my computer the rest of the day. Whenever it comes to macros, I always suggest playing around, doing some trial and error, trying out different macro splits to find what breakdown works best for you if tracking macros is something you actually want to do. Like I said, I don't track macros or calories anymore. I eat completely intuitively, but I have a really good understanding of what different foods are made up of and what foods make me feel my best. For example, I know my body thrives on a very high carb diet. But macro breakdowns that are like most optimal for one person may not work at all for another person. They're very particular to the individual. That's why I suggest doing some trial and error, playing around with different splits to find what works best for you. But if you are gaining while in maintenance, you're probably in a slight surplus, because if you're truly eating at maintenance, your weight will maintain. But if you are gaining weight, that means you're probably in a little bit of a surplus, eating a little bit more than your true maintenance. So with this question, I'm assuming that by bulk, you mean body fat. And the thing about body fat is that you cannot spot reduce body fat. You have to lose overall body fat, meaning you can't pick and choose where you lose fat from first. You can train specific muscle groups and build up that muscle. But when it comes to the body fat part, you have to lose overall body fat. And as you guys know, in order to lose weight, you have to be in a calorie deficit. That is amazing that you have done both shred and cut. I hope you loved them. My advice would be to go back through shred after chilling at maintenance for a little bit and make sure you are in a very slight calorie deficit and see if that helps lose that last bit of body fat. I love this question because I get it all the time. And yes, you can do the programs on my app while incorporating half marathon or full marathon training. I have tons of girls doing that exact thing. A really popular one to combine with any running program is Crunch. It is completely dumbbell only, and it's 3 lifts a week, and the lifts take about 30 minutes. So you can see how that's very easy to mesh running in with. And then a lot of people also do shred combined with a running program. They just substitute the lists for runs, or they substitute the active recovery day for runs, or a little combination of both. I thought this was the perfect question to follow up that last one with. Basically, on my app, I post all of my daily lifts, both the home version and the gym version. I also post stretch series, core finishers, travel training, treadmill workouts, tons of random workouts you can pick and choose from. And then I also post structured training programs. Kickstart was the first one that was on my app. It is a 4-week program. I have both a home version and a gym version. It's basically a program to get you used to my training style and to get you used to training consistently. That's kind of what is there to kickstart your fitness journey. I also have Shred on there, which is the 12-week program that I did leading up to my wedding to get really lean and shredded. Also have Build on there. It is the 8-week program that I did before Shred to help grow, lift, shape my glutes. And then the newest addition is my Crunch program. It is 12 weeks, completely dumbbell only, 3 lifts a week, and the lifts take about 30 minutes. Once again, if you want to hear about reverse dieting in depth, I highly recommend reading through the nutrition education section of my app. But basically, it's just when you slowly, steadily bring your calories back up to maintenance following a cut phase or following a period of time where you are in a calorie deficit. You don't want to stay at a calorie deficit very long because you don't want to risk harming your metabolism. That's why I always suggest no longer than 12 weeks consecutively in a calorie deficit before bringing those calories back up through a reverse diet. And once again, it's all explained in my nutrition education section. I share my recommendations for how many calories you should increase each week, but slowly, steadily bringing those calories back up, getting yourself back up to maintenance so that you can continue making progress without harming your metabolism. Speaking of calorie deficits, yes, it is completely normal and actually expected that you feel a little bit hungry when you are eating in a calorie deficit because you are purposely giving your body less calories than it is used to consuming. But that's why I suggest very, very slight calorie deficits paired with training adjustments to help support that calorie deficit, because no one likes to feel starving 24/7. Like, I really don't feel all that hungry when I'm in a calorie deficit because I don't do a crazy calorie deficit. But it is normal to feel a little bit hungry. It's normal to want to eat a little bit more, but that's kind of like the reason you're doing the cut phase in the calorie deficit, because you are trying to lose weight, and you're not going to lose weight unless you're in a calorie deficit. But that's also why it is just a phase and not a permanent change to your diet, because once again, you don't want to risk harming your metabolism. It's just a period of time, and then you bring those calories back up. I actually have an entire video on progressive overload on my app, but at this point in my health and fitness journey, I really don't increase the weight all that often. Yes, I still do sometimes, and I'm definitely way more likely to increase the weight on lower body glute focused exercises than I am on upper body exercises, but that's just because of my particular physique goals. But don't think that increasing the weight is the only way to progressively overload a lift. There are so many other ways to do it. Progressive overload is basically any tweak or adjustment you can make to the lift to make it slightly harder. So you can mess around with the tempo, add a slow lowering, add a pause. You can change up the reps, the sets, the rest period, anything to make it a little bit harder. All right, I'm gonna end with this one because I got so many questions and responses just like this. So if it were me and I were back to my August 2022 self, this is exactly what I would do for lasting and sustainable results. I would download my app. I would read through the nutrition education section first. Like, before doing anything else, read through the nutrition education section. Then I would apply what I learn in that to find my maintenance calories and complete my Kickstart Gym program. That program is only 4 weeks, but it'll get you used to working out consistently. It'll get you used to my training style. Then once you are done doing Kickstart and chilling at maintenance, then you can apply your calorie deficit that you learn all about in my nutrition education section while doing my 12-week Shred program. Once again, that is the program that I did leading up to my wedding. I have never been more lean or shredded or felt more amazing in my entire life. And yes, that probably sounds like such a slow, steady approach, but that's what'll give you lasting, sustainable results. All right, there are so many other questions. You guys literally sent in hundreds, but I pretty much answered the bulk of them, and I feel like my answers help educate you all on some of the other topics you guys asked about. If there is one specific topic you would love if I filmed like an in-depth deep dive video on, please comment it below. I'd be happy to do that. You guys know I love sitting down, chit-chatting, and educating you all because I truly love helping you all feel like your best, fittest, most confident selves. And I feel like I keep things very simple and easy to understand because that makes it simpler and easier to apply to your lifestyle. But for now, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I hope it was helpful. I hope you learned something from it. And if you did like this video, don't forget to give it a like, make sure you're subscribed, and I will see you all next time. Bye.